Hi, it's Dawn here in Stickletown, and I just thought I'd fill you in on this week's events. My last video said about Martin travelling back on Monday with his parents to France, which is what he did. Yeah, he's taken them. Today is Friday and he should be home this evening. Really looking forward to him getting back. This week has been a very, very difficult week because, yep, I have got a break. I've fractured the joint in my thumb. I dislocated my thumb, fractured the joint, and I've torn all the ligaments and tendons going down either side as well. So it's been very, very painful. What happened? Right, Monday evening I was doing the feed rounds, and so I was using the chimney to go around, take haylage to the buffaloes, etc. Just getting towards the end of the feed round. And as I came through one set of gates, parked the chimney up, like you do, left the engine running, jumped out, shut the gate, got back into the chimney, and it's an automatic, so I put it into drive, pressed the brake, put it into drive, put my foot on the accelerator, and the accelerator went right down and jammed full speed. The chimney was careering down the hill. I'm desperately trying to control it. I had no response from the brakes. I could see the big metal gates heading straight for them, and then just round from the metal gates was a big oak tree. So I'm desperately trying to steer the vehicle away from them two, steering it back up the hill on the other side of the field. As I did so, because I hadn't shut the door properly, because when you're flitting between gates you just sort of tend to pull the door up and don't click it in, and we never wear our seat belts going around the fields. So as I swung round the corner, the door swung open and I was thrown out. I don't remember being thrown out. I remember frantically trying to steer the chimney, and the next thing I remember is being on the grass in the fields, and I'm just sort of slowly moving and assessing what hurts, you know, what have I done. I managed to get, and I was aware that the chimney wasn't around, I couldn't see the chimney at all. I managed to get my mobile phone out and called my grandson, and told him where I was in the alpaca field, and he came over and found me. And he said he'd actually not long pulled up in his van, and he said he'd seen the chimney careering across the fields at full speed, and he just thought I was in a bad mood and driving crazy. So anyway, all was assessed and I managed to get up onto my feet. Yeah, I was very dizzy and I was very aware that this hand was extremely painful. Not everything else sort of hurt, but this was pain. And I said to him, I think I've broken my hand. I fell on this side, my right side, so I was thrown out on the right, and I only guess I put this hand out, and that's how I sustained the injury. So getting to my feet and sort of looking around, and I could see the chimney had gone straight through the fence, and It had continued across the field on its bid for freedom and taken down another fence, and I could see the roof of the chimney right at the very back of the top field up beside the mama buffaloes. My grandson went up there because the engine was still running, so he went up there to turn it all off before, we didn't know what damage had been done to it and we didn't want it bursting into flames. And it was entangled in a fence and embedded in the embankment up there. When he came back down to me, I came down to the house, had a cup of tea, and sort of sat there and gave us a thought, and I thought, I've got to get this hand looked at. So we went up to A&E, well, he took me up to A&E in town, in Carmarthen at the hospital. And of course at this point, I think it was round about 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock in the evening, I'm not sure really of the timeline. So he took me into Carmarthen and walked into A&E, and it was just heaving with people, wall to wall, drug addicts, alcoholics, police everywhere. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a long time. Spoke to reception and she said, you're looking at 3 hours before you get triage and possibly 5 to 8 hour wait. So I decided not to wait. I said I'd come back in the morning because it just didn't seem urgent to me. And there was no way I could sit around surrounded by, and the noise in there was pretty bad. And I thought, no, I can't be sitting here with this. So we came home. Had quite a restless night, taking painkillers, etc. Next morning, because she advised me if I got in for 8 in the morning, I could go to Miners and be seen there straight away. So I did, and I was seen straight away. And they x-rayed my hand, and then I had to go down and see a doctor because I'd been flung from a vehicle at speed. And they just wanted to check everything was okay. They then decided to do CT scans of my head because of previous operation and head problems. So yes, all in all I was there for about 4.5 hours, I think, and it was seen that the only injury I had was my hand. So it was very swollen, so they put it in a double splint metal brace, or metal splint brace, to start with, and that was it was uncomfortable, but it was doable. And you know, all the usual, don't use it, rest it up completely, you're going to be in this for about 6 weeks, etc, etc. That was Tuesday. Next day, the hospital phoned me. They'd reassessed my x-rays, etc, and discussed my case and asked if I could come back in. I couldn't get back in till the Thursday, so I went in on the Thursday and saw the fracture team, and they said I'd torn all the ligaments or tendons, or was it both, I can't remember. They were on about all these things running down either side of my thumb. They took the brace off, and it was, I wish I'd taken a photo to show you, because it was all just a beautiful colour around here. It looked like batik dyed fabric. As soon as I took the brace off, the pain started, because of course the brace was supporting it firmly and I had no movement there. And they decided they were going to cast it. This is I don't know the type of cast, they call it a soft cast, because as you see, that is all flexible there, and there's a fair amount of flexibility up here. But this bit where the injury is, there's a metal mesh, so that isn't flexible at all, and I can't move my thumb at all. But I can move my fingers, but I can't move my thumb. And when I asked, why have you done it so far up my arm, and they said it's to prevent the rotation of the wrist, which is all to do with the tendons and ligaments and thingamajiggies. So that's an update on that. So of course it's put me in a bit of a predicament this week, having to manage one-handed around the farm. I've had Benny coming, our little Benny coming in, and helping me. I did message him and say I'd been involved in an accident and could he come in. So he's been helping me out with the haylage, etc. I can't drive with Jim Knee because I can't operate the controls. Even more so with this because I can't, you know, with the brace I had a bit more movement, with this I haven't. And I can't even drive a car. And they said this is going to be on for 6 weeks. Got to go back in 2 weeks where they're going to recheck it all and everything, and then they said at the end, I would like to think that they're going to take it off after 2 weeks, and I just have some sort of support there instead of this, because this is quite cumbersome. I don't know if you can see how thick all of that is, and it just sort of gets in the way of everything. And yeah, so they said back in 2 weeks, at the end of 6 weeks, the cast will be removed and I'll start a course of physiotherapy to regain movement of my thumb and my hand. Yeah, so it has been a very difficult week. I've not been sleeping well. It's been quite uncomfortable. I've also had a lot of headaches, an awful lot of headaches. They seem to think, they checked me all over to make sure I hadn't damaged where my surgery was, the cranial surgery, and they said there doesn't seem to be any damage. But my headaches this week have returned in force, and I've just been living off painkillers and sleeping a lot, just like I was before my leak. And I'm really hoping I haven't got another leak started up inside somewhere. Although they did say they compared the CT scans to the ones that I had done after surgery and the ones previous to surgery, and they said it all seemed fine. But they did say it can take up, brain injuries can take up to 2 weeks to finish swelling and to go back down again. And also there's something called post-traumatic concussion syndrome. They do think I was knocked out, well, just for a very short while, a few seconds, and I do feel like my head has been shaken about, and this post-traumatic concussion syndrome can take up to 6 weeks to show itself, whatever it is. So they'll give me a list of things to look out for. What's concerning me now is my eyes are starting to, because it's now Friday, it happened Monday night, my eyes are starting to show evidence of having black eyes. So that's nice. So maybe when Martin's back home, things will ease up a bit and I can rest up a lot more, and if things are no better next week, I'll go back and see them at the hospital. So I've been trying to get things done around here. The clear up of the aftermath of his parents, going through the fridge and pulling out all the stuff that was bought in primary for them, and preserving it, making use of it, etc. Yeah, I'm gutted. It's been a lovely week weather-wise, and of course today Martin is coming back, and it's, if you can see it, it's grey and dismal, and we had rain overnight. Well, not a lot, but we did have rain overnight. And it's been a lovely week all week, and I've not been able to get out there and do anything because I just can't dig. I've just attempted to go around with the hoover, but even hoovering with one hand it looks easy, but you're so used to using two hands. Chopping food up, very, very difficult. The other night Tuesday night I did a roast chicken and a sweet potato and chickpea curry. To use up some veg that was in the fridge. And I did that in the Ninja air fryer, but trying to peel and chop sweet potatoes, it was a bit of a nightmare, and I only had my splint on then, I didn't have this cumbersome thing on. So yes, we've got ourselves a show you. A 2-drawer dual zone Ninja air fryer. We've always had air fryers. We've had air fryers for a long time, but we've always had the little single ones, and our latest one, which was a cheap one, was only small, and it wasn't the best. It tided us over while we were doing all the kitchen work, and I thought I'm going to treat myself to, when the kitchen work was finished, to the Ninja 2-drawer one, especially as I mainly eat keto and Martin doesn't, so it's easy for me to do my keto in one side and his in the other side, and merge them, or schedule match, sync, whatever it's called, so they both finish at once. So that's quite good, instead of having me eating a little bit later, although it's only 10-15 minutes, but having it all ready at once is really good. And the gutting thing about it was this one I bought, and I'd been teaching his mum and dad how to use it, thinking it would make life a lot easier for them, rather than messing around with cookers and that. And we'd done quite a lot of recipes, because there's been a series on TV just recently all about cooking in air fryers, and so my plan was to let them, when we sorted them out with a mobile home, let them have this one because they'd been used to using it, and I was going to get the next one up for me. But there we go, they've gone back, and I shall keep this one. And yes, so I've been doing a fair amount in that, trying to get used to it, so that come end of May we're going to be putting off the Rayburn, so we won't have the Rayburn to use, and we're doing this to try and conserve on fuel for the winter, and also tired, also to save on, you know, the cost of, we don't want to put an oven on for just one thing. Having the Rayburn across, you know, it's brilliant. So I thought if I can get used to using this, you know, it would be a good substitute for an oven for me. So yes, I've been doing that. I've been getting, there was some yogurts left over from his parents that were bought. They had one, decided they didn't want any more, so I've been getting them frozen. In portions. There was cream that was left in the fridge as well. I've been getting that all frozen. I've been harvesting asparagus as it's been popping up. And getting it in the freezer, because unless I've got a meal planned for it, you know, it's I don't want it sitting there going to waste and withering away or anything. So yeah, so I've been getting that frozen, and Martin and me will consume it through the rest of the year, as well as we're eating it fresh when it comes up. I was hoping to get the tomatoes planted in the polytunnel this week. I was hoping to finish clearing the beds, but no, none of it has happened. This weekend we are hoping to get the buffalo out, and that's going to be the main priority, is to get the buffalo turned out this weekend. Yeah, so life just goes on. It's just a bit of an inconvenience, it's a bit of a setback. I'm going to have a go at doing some sewing this afternoon. I don't know how successful that will be. I don't know whether I can do it with just one hand or not, or whether I can sort of balance it with this hand and feed it through with the other, I don't know. I'm going to have a bit of a go anyway, because end of June I've got a big 3-day festival coming up that I'm supposed to have a stall at, and I've got next to nothing made for it. So this is just another setback. Anyway, I'm going to wind up there. Thank you very much for all the comments on my last video. I really appreciate them. Yeah, it was a bit of a blow what happened in the end with his parents, and you know, them going back off to France, but there we go, that's it there. Martin has told them his next journey to France will probably be when one of them has passed away. He's very disappointed in his parents, and we tried. That's all we could do, is we tried, and it didn't work out. They weren't prepared to work with us. So anyway, yeah, let's hope this next week doesn't have any more disasters. Really can't cope with any more at the moment. We just need a nice break where things are just going to be level pegging, and we can just you know, plod on and catch up. So anyway, I'll catch up with you again soon. I have got a few canning videos I'm planning on doing this next week, providing I can get the stuff all prepped beforehand with Martin's help. So anyway, take care everybody, and I'll speak to you again soon.